So, welcome to Super Fantasy Kingdom. This is a town building, roguelike defender. I don't want to say tower defense, but it is reminiscent of one. And I have been thoroughly excited about it. I have not played the demo. In full disclosure, I did not play the demo. I do have the early access preview build. So this is what's going to go out into early access. This is going to have more content than the demo. But having said that, I don't know what's different between the demo and the full early access. But I have been loving it. I have been playing a whole lot of it. So I've been thoroughly enjoying it. I hope you guys enjoy it too. We are going to start a new profile. That way we can avoid some spoilers. But I do think I want to give just a very brief... I'm going to load up my main profile just so you can kind of see where this is going. And then we're not going to play that. Okay? So, yeah. Well, I don't know. I haven't decided just how much to reveal or not reveal. The game is a little bit on rails, but at the same time, with the roguelike, your game's not going to have the exact same order of everything happening as mine. And you do things in runs like you would in a roguelike, so we'll play like a couple of runs to see how it goes. Each run, you kind of get farther and farther along, you get more and more stuff to have a better run next time. And that's the real thing that kind of keeps you coming back. That's the cycle. So let's check it out. First, we're going to do, I've got a couple of different things that we might do as far as playing. Now, this is our very pixelated throne room. I am fairly far along. I don't know how far in compared to other people, and I certainly feel like I've gone past where the demo has. You have your starter hero. There's our king with his dog. He collects taxes. That's his main job in the game. And then we've got a few other things going around. It's letting us know our kingdom level. We've unlocked heroes. That's a lot of these guys down here. I don't have all of them available to me, but I've got a whole lot of them. I've prioritized other things. So we've also unlocked half the units, half the relics. There's also items that you can start your game with. So again, a lot of customization. You can pick your hero, pick your items that you start with. You can also pick to block certain units if you don't want to have them showing up. I currently have the Elven Archer in there. Should I have him there or not? I don't know, but somebody had to go. And then our statistics. I've had 18 runs, 0 wins. You kind of have to work up towards it. And then the statistic here, this number here, this glory, and this is where the real roguelike progression comes into play. Glory is something that you're going to, it's a milestone. It's not a resource that you spend, it is a milestone. So every time you play, you want to see if you start at 0 every time you play, but if you can manage to get it a little bit higher, you'll get more unlocks. So this is the highest I've gotten, was the 705. And then that means I've unlocked that enough stuff. Probably 700 was like the threshold for unlocking things, whatever. But until I can get another run with a higher number, I'm not going to unlock any new stuff. So you're always pushing to try to get farther along or doing side quests to unlock things that way, because there's other ways to unlock. But that was something that took me a minute to figure out, was glory. And so again, it's a milestone as opposed to a resource. So just to show a little bit of the game, we're not going to show any of these guys. We're just going to show like kind of the default character, hero. And then also because of my unlocks there, I do have the ability to add another item, which is much excite. We'll grab that. We'll grab that. And then we're not going to play this. I just want you to see my map on like the big scale. I'm not going to look at all the details because that's too spoilery. And then we're going to back out and we're going to start a new profile and go from there. So this is a default knight. You'll see the king pop up. Here's the king.
True glory is to die in battle.
The whole idea of we can't die because it's a roguelike, we're redoing the same cycle of things over again. But some things stick around, and that's that glory. That's where the roads that we build and the plots of land that we can have available to us, those are available because of our milestone of the glory. So he's kind of just reminiscing there, but we've got some unlocks and additional resources that you will not normally start with, but I've earned over the course of leveling up and doing side quests. So I'm going to have tons of extra resources, and I'm going to pause the game. So this is kind of just what you're going to be looking at a lot of the time will be your town down here and the world around it. Now, I'm not going to zoom in too much. I don't want to really give any details away. But there's a lot to discover and a lot still to discover. You can see the fog of war. Obviously, there's a lot that I have yet to discover. This field in the center, though, is where all of the battles happen. And so essentially, each day, which is real time, each day is not one-to-one, but it's just a RTS going on like this. While you're building up your town, the day is progressing. When you're at noon on the day, the enemies start to appear, and they're just going to start charging your town. And so you need to defend your town, but you're still able to operate your town for the second half of the day until nighttime when everyone goes to bed, and you're still potentially defending your town, depending on how well that's going. When all the enemies are done, you're done with the day, and then you start a new day after you feed everybody. That's important. Your soldiers want to be fed. So we're not going to play it, but I just kind of wanted you to see where this is going. There's a lot going on, and I'm going to back out. We're going to back out, and we're going to start a new profile. And then what we'll do is we'll do one run of that, and then there's actually an alternate that I have not played at all, and it will be new to both of us. So both you, the viewer, and me, we will have some excitement there on something brand new. But this is kind of what you'll be seeing right at the start when you first play the game. It'll be more like this. Not nearly as rich with the coffers and things going on. But we do have Rickard, the defensive knight, perfect for beginners. And we don't have any equipment that we can play with. And it is day one. We're going to have a bit of storyline here.
How can this be?
So everything has vanished. And the first step we need to do is to build a tavern. Now, I'm going to probably build it in one spot. That doesn't mean you always want to build it in the same spot. I'll talk about this in a second. The game is currently still paused, so that's the button up here. Here's your time clock in the corner, your pause button. There's several other things, the calendar. Each day, as time goes on, you're going to have more things develop and more things happen, and you'll kind of get to know what's going to happen each day. However, at the end of the week, it does tell you with the red, it's a boss. So there's a boss wave at the end of each week. My farthest I've gotten, I believe, is to day 28 and lost against that boss. That's the farthest I've gotten. Okay, so we've got our hero. And he is currently positioned to defend the town. Now, you can see these slots. There are 4 slots up front. Currently, only 1 is unlocked. There's actually going to be more slots. As we expand out, it'll have more slots available. But it's going to take gold to unlock these slots. We currently have 0 coins up at the top left. 0 coins, so we're not unlocking any new slots. We have nobody to put it in anyway. Our hero will have to be on his own. There's 4 more slots down here. 4 more slots down here. And they are the bench. They are the bench. So for the most part, units are not going to be able to fight from the bench. But there are certain unit classes, a siege class, that may, depending on which ones you get. So this is usually just a holding area while you're waiting to buy more slots, or maybe even swapping guys in as the battle's going on. Maybe somebody gets injured and you want to swap him out before he dies, that sort of thing. Okay, so we've just got our battlefield and the slots available to us. And you'll notice when the white circle around our knight, that is his range. He will not attack until anything gets into this range. The animation for the knight's attack, you can imagine he's a melee character. I can even bring this up. He is a melee class. His movement is cavalry, that's going to be important here on describing. His role is tank, and he cannot be placed in a tower. Now, this cavalry thing, what this is saying is that you can imagine it's going to have high movement, but what it's really, in practical terms, what this is saying is that the unit will animate by leaving and going charging around the battlefield, fighting things as it goes, but it's not targetable. That's because it's cavalry. So an infantry unit is just going to stay put, and enemies are going to come to hit and target and hit him. This knight is going to have a version of the knight charging around within that white circle, and then there's going to be a version of him just sitting here. If any enemies reach the guy sitting here in the middle, he can get attacked. But while he's running around, they're not fighting him. And that took me a minute to figure out, that there's suddenly 2 knights. I've got 2 knights running around, but one is basically his shadow, his ghost. That's the cavalry running around, hitting things, while the actual unit that needs to survive is the one that's staying put. And enemies generally don't have range attacks, so they just have to get to you, and you're trying to prevent that. All right, that's enough about battle. As far as the base goes, you have your castle here. I've got 1 worker and 1 carrier, so we've got a horse to move things around, or maybe it's a donkey. And then we're going to place our tavern. I'm going to place it here. We need a lumberyard as well. Resources can only be used after they've been taken to the castles. The castle is your storage. So food is stored in the tavern instead. This is why the tavern may or may not want to be where I just put it, because you do want to make sure that wherever you're gathering food at, that your tavern is close by to store the food there, right? So generally in the middle, this is fine. But if I decide to make a farm up here, you're eventually going to have more plots. You might remember from when I revealed a little bit of my further along game. You're going to have more plots to build on. If I have multiple plots, maybe I want to build a tavern next to the farm. So that way we can work around that. Or fishing and all of that. So you get the idea, though. In addition to that, there's other things going on here that when I first started playing, I did not take note of, and you would do well to do so. These are resources, and they are consumable. You can actually highlight them to see how many are available. So there's 5 berries in this bush. There's 1 wheat, 5 ore here. The tree has 4. You can see all of this. And you want to be able to make note of if there's any particular area where only there's all the stuff in one spot. I feel like this run, it's different every time. It's a roguelike. This run, we've got a fairly even spread of there's trees all around. There's bushes all around. But the thing I will take note of is that in this run, we won't be able to get this far, probably. But we do have the rock. There's a larger rock and a larger ore, which is gold ore. Here, these actually are unlimited mines. A mine! Sorry, that is a channel meme that we have to have the dwarf ski with the mimes. The mines. Anyway, you can build those, but you don't want to build the quarry, the associated building, far away. So noting that these are the only 2 spots where those are happening there. You can grow trees, you can grow bushes elsewhere, but the mines are going to stay put. So a quarry is going to want to be on the left-hand side as close as we can to it, because sometimes you can actually prevent yourself from building a minecart track to it if you're not careful. We don't have those sorts of options right now, but just want to keep in mind, it took me a while to figure out that where I place things matter. And if you pick up on that, you'll do much better. Okay, so it's also a worker placement game. We've got our 1 worker, and it sounds like we're going to need some food. So let's go ahead and assign him there. Oh, and the game wants me to make a woodcutter lumberyard as well, so we'll do that too. Gildar, yes! Definitely retro graphics. The mouse wheel lets me assign, I can tell that I want to have 4 workers, but we only have the 1, and that's going to be the highlighted thing. So he's just going to be working that. I'm going to get some food from that. Now we can build things on big plots. You can also build things on the little plots. Little plots have the houses, which gives us more workers. We're going to need those. It also will allow us to have foragers to get berries from thickets, or a fisher hut to get fish from the shore. And I've personally come to the decision that I don't like the foragers as much as I like the fishermen. And the reason for that is thickets get used up, whereas the fish do not. And so even though we do have a fair amount of thickets, and we would probably want to build that to the bottom here because a lot of thickets down here to the south as opposed to the north. But I'm probably not going to do this because I don't think you can unbuild. I don't think you can demolish the building. So it's taking up the slot. The thickets are gone. You've gotten all the berries. There's no more to be had. And now the slot is blocked because the forager is no longer able to do that. But the fisher hut will not have that problem. So if we get surplus food, that's berries here. Surplus foods, we'll probably build a fisher hut. We can also gain coins from decorations. If we can get some wheat, we can get a well. You need that to make bread. With the stone here, a geologist is necessary to get more stone and ore if you don't have the mines. So that's helpful there as well. But we have very limited slots, and I probably want a house on all of them. But I've got my 1 guy selected, and he's going to do food right now because I have no. Actually, you know what? We don't have any warriors. What if we did go ahead and start work towards that house instead of the food? Our knight does not need to eat. He lives on holy energy alone. So we're going to switch that. We're going to have him do the lumberyard, and I'm going to unpause. And here's our king. The king is very useful. He collects taxes. That is all he does. There is a purple bar underneath the taxes here, or above the taxes. Every time that fills up, he will collect taxes. The situation is that the more wealthy our kingdom is, the more taxes we get. And to do that, we need to repair our castles. So one of our early goals is going to get 3 stone, and that will allow us to repair 1 level of the castle to increase the rate of coins that we get. And you can see there's a lot of stuff going on. We can also see how there's like the map. Sorry for blinding everyone. There's not a lot on the map. Okay, the morning is over and the monsters will start to attack the village. Your units will attack targets once they're in range. The only unit you can have now is your hero. And this is kind of fun because you have like the peaceful village music, and then we happen to go up here. Battle music, because there's an elf attacking us. 2 elves. They're coming to get us. But you can see they've got a little while, so we're gonna just, make sure our town's doing its thing. Whoa! Okay, a lot of tutorial things just happened. I don't know. We're trying to collect more wood. It wants me to build a house. We need 4 wood for that. Have they reached us? Nope, they haven't. Now you can speed it up, but I didn't want to do too much of that. Even the little animals here can be useful. There's our guy chopping the trees. You can eventually have a hunter and gather food that way as well. Okay, we can see there's more guys coming in. Let's speed it up a little bit. And here's what I was talking about of the shadow of the horse going out there. So he's just charging out. This one is not targetable because he's a cavalry unit. He's not targetable, but if they reach the one that's stationary, they can deal damage to him. Now you notice there's some other things are floating around on this field. There's a little tower over here, a little swordsman. Right, we got some stuff happening over here. We've got maybe a mushroom up there. There's some little details, and this is something you're gonna have to be very observant about. There's maybe somebody over here hanging out. Starfish, an X marks the spot, perhaps? You need to be observant each and every day. The map can change. You don't think it holds true on the cavalry? I mean, maybe. You know, are you talking real life? Or are you talking in the game? No, they when they were charging out there, they're untargetable. They're just, all I'm trying to say is they're untargetable when they're running around. And the reason why I'm pointing that out is because your natural instinct is to think, wow, if they get hit in melee, they're going to die. I don't want them charging out there. And the whole thing is they're not getting hit in melee. They're untargetable. But they are still getting hit if the enemy reaches them. So you're throwing a shade. You're throwing shade. Oh, it's just not because they're the cavalry. Oh, okay. That I might have misunderstood that. However, that would be a useful designation to be able to understand that this is the sort of unit, cavalry is the sort of unit that goes charging out there to do that. Fair enough, fair enough. All right, so the day has ended. We're going to enter the tavern. That's how you end the day. And normally the stuff goes on in the tavern, but not today because we don't have any soldiers. Ooh, but we did get enough wood. I was distracted with all the action. Let's go ahead and get a house up and running. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do here. So we got this, and that wants us to build a quarry. My problem is I want to build the quarry down here, and I built this instead. I don't want to build a quarry way up here. I don't know how much glory it's going to take for us to get a quarry unlocked down here. Let's find out. Okay. Day 1. 11 kills. We got 1 glory. We barely made it. Our knight did 100% of the damage. You can also cycle that between percentages as well. Or actual damage dealt. And then this is the percentage. This is nice because when you have multiple units, you can actually see, okay, who's doing the job. Now, in this tavern, we'll get to see a little bit more about what's going on here later, but there are some interesting things happening in this meta game outside of the day-to-day. But for the moment, I'm just going to skip until we have something to look at. Day 2. My friend. And who are you, friend?
I'm no warrior.
Forgotten old man. He is hermit.
Try this.
He comes with help, though. Here, take one of these. For free. Okay. So one of these is a card that's representing a soldier to join our armies. Emily Bod, thank you so much. I love teaching, and when it's something I get excited about, like this game, I've thoroughly enjoyed. I want people to understand it thoroughly. I want them to know what I know and enjoy it like I do, because I think it's worth it. I think this is a great game. Okay, so here's a big choice that we have. This, whatever unit we pick is kind of going to be with us the rest of the game. It's not the only unit we're going to have, but it is, since it's our first one, it's also going to level up the most have most opportunity to level anyway. And so it's going to be our backbone for this. Now, you saw I had already banned the archer in my other run. If you guys were here when I was showing you kind of like my main profile, I banned the archer, and it's not because the archer itself is bad. In fact, it's actually great on these first couple levels. If I click details, you're going to see, you know, it's the Elven class kingdom. It's the ranged class. Role is to deal damage, right? It can go on towers, and that's a nice little detail to keep in mind because they don't have to be vulnerable on the front line. They're not going to have a lot of health. And what's really cool is they fire 3 arrows that all inflict bleed. And bleed, once enough bleed has been applied, it deals 20% of max health as direct damage. So if you can stack a bunch of bleed, like a whole bunch of units that do bleed, you can do a whole lot of damage to high-level guys, especially bosses. But here's my problem. As I was playing the game more and more on my main profile, and I'm getting farther and farther along, there are more and more enemies, hordes of enemies, and hitting 3 guys at once is just not enough late game. And so I was kind of being like, I don't want this guy showing up late game, blocking a potentially more useful guy late game. So that was my reasoning, but I don't want you to have the impression that the archer is bad. It's just, it wasn't my build style that I needed. Now, alternatively, the Cyclops, okay, he jumps at a target and he applies stun to everything in a 30-meter radius. This is an AoE that I can get behind. Now, the damage is not going to be huge. Yeah, it is clever balance. I do think it's, I think you're going to need AoE and single target and a tank. You're going to need all of these together. Now, this is absolutely an AoE choice. He uses a different resource. We'll talk about resources later. But he's not going to do a lot of damage, but he is something that is always going to be useful because the stun doesn't matter how much damage he does, the stun is useful and it's a big area. So we can't go wrong with the Cyclops. He is a one-eyed wonder. However, the Rune Scribe is interesting as well because he can hit up to 2 targets twice, applying shock, increasing crit chance. And there's single target damage with crits, but also as he gets levels here, which we're probably not going to be able to do on this run, he starts to have it chain lightning. And that gets to be really interesting because now we're hitting more and more. Now the archer gets more and more targets too, but I feel like this is, you know, more as well. And also targeting is important too. So he's going to try to prioritize strong enemies, whereas the archer is going to prioritize whatever's nearest. And so I feel like I tend to get, because he's a single target focused damage guy, I feel like Rune Scribe targeting strongest is a more value proposition for a single target unit. But we're just going to pick a Cyclops for now. Okay, we got a unit. It's going to explain it, but we've already talked about this. Snuggling, if they increase from 8 to 32. Hold on, look! 32 bits. That's probably 64 up there. A lot of graphics on the screen. There's so many graphics. Okay, so we're going to select a bench slot for the moment, just to progress here. We're going to pause again. Now, we did get some taxes yesterday, and so I can go ahead and put this on the line so we can see him, but just so you know, we don't need to yet. Our knight is strong enough to handle this. Also, what is this? Remember that 1 glory we got? Because we have 1 glory, we can now click an arrow. And we're going to build a road. Aha. We now have access to this little tower along with a couple other things. The tower lets us recruit a swordsman. Just one. It's not a barracks that you're constantly recruiting from, but it does give us a swordsman. Swordsman is so far my favorite tank unit of all the units. So he's obviously melee, but his range is very much melee. We've seen a couple melee units that have range. This guy is very short range, but he does hit an AoE, and he does knockback when he hits. That's nice. He also has a taunt that can happen later. I don't want to do too many spoilers, but that helps him tank, right? That lets him do that. And shield here is it's a health resource, but it regenerates, unlike health without you know, a healing spell happening. So this is really nice that between waves of guys, you're going to get some shield back. He can continue to tank. I love it. We want him, but he costs 4 stone. We have no quarry yet. That's a problem. What else happened here? Well, we can spend 1 mysterious crystal to start all future runs with a wood. Do you remember when I revealed the beginning of this, where I showed at the beginning I could have all these resources? This is how you're going to do that. You're going to unlock bonus resources for future runs to have. Very important that you do all this. The cost is going to continually increase, though, and we don't have any right now. I'm going to cancel. We're also going to click this guy here, the Death Priest. He's on a quest. Help him by completing the following task. Die. This is a unlockable unit to be added to the pool. If we die, we can get the Death Priest. So he's going to be useful for that. Also, you'll encounter many different new units that have special quests for you. After solving it, they will start to appear during your runs in both kingdoms. What does that mean? Both kingdoms. Well, if we get through a run of this, we're going to switch out and do a run of the other kingdom, and I'll do that on my main account because I have not done it whatsoever. It'll be new to both of us. I'm excited about this, but there is another kingdom out there. All right, back to the battle here. So we're going to be chopping more wood. We did get another worker, and we have a warrior unit now. So the question is, we could go one day. Yeah, we actually will. We'll go one day using our stored up food that we already have, and we're going to try to stock up on wood. I'm going to play the economy game, and we're going to try to get another house. That's the plan. We are going to need a quarry, but I'm hoping to get some glory and get a quarry closer over here rather than this one up here. I don't want to use that slot. Zalix, hello from the Amarok stream. Make sure you say hi for me as well. It's been a while since I've been able to hang out with Amarok. What a great guy. Here we go. Let's unpause. Kings around collecting taxes as kings do. We now have 2 lumber workers. The horse, being very intelligent, is taking the wood back to the town so we can have that wood. Okay. Ah, something else has occurred today. Do you see this golden little arrow as I move around my screen? Do you see how the arrow? Always be watching for something that's moving like this because it's telling you, hey, there's something on the map that you need to investigate. What could it be? I can click. Remember how there's an X marks the spot? We can click it. It's a world event. These are special locations in the world where random events can happen. They are free resources, relics, visitors. It's a lot of stuff, and they're always good. Well, they can be blocked by bad things, but you're looking for them, and there's some that are amazing, so you definitely want those. Ensure you clear these sites regularly. So basically, what it means by clearing is sometimes an enemy unit will block it. When you click it, it adds a wave of those guys to the current wave. It makes the wave harder, but you unlock that from being blocked so you can keep getting things. This is, again, it's a roguelike. Some runs you won't have to deal with it at all. Sometimes you won't get anything because they're blocking it all the time. More of them are empty, gives you better chances. So we got a wheat. And there it goes, adding to the pool. Zalix, yeah, it's coming out soon, and I've got to say, I have been obsessed with it. I really have been. I have loved it. I love the challenge. The gameplay loop is very addictive. I thoroughly enjoy it. So we've got more of our elves showing up again. And we've got a new unit type. The Undead Jester, or the Clown, I believe it's called. So anyway, I could throw our Cyclops up. Yeah, sure. Well, we want to see him, right? I'm going to unlock the slot. Okay. So they gain experience in the tavern. They do not gain experience based on who fights and who does what. It doesn't matter who's doing what as long as they're getting fed. Assign jobs to the tavern to get some basic food. Yeah, but we got the one food. We'll be okay. And there he goes. While he's charging out there, our Cyclops is going to jump. And that's probably why, because he's not a cavalry unit. He is a, infantry melee class here. So that my whole theory of the cavalry being a class for that doesn't hold up. But once you figure out this whole shadow thing where they're sending out the shadow, but the unit is still here being attacked, like, it doesn't matter at that point. You don't need the classifications. There's the stun. So we like that too. I'll speed it up a bit. You played the demo? Yeah, this is the early access, so we actually have more content, but I never played the demo, so I don't know what is different. A couple things I want to point out. While I hold my Alt key... Oh, hold on. I am making a huge mistake, aren't I? Forgot the wood, we can't... Yeah, we need to get food. So when I hold the Alt key, lots of things change, which is my push to talk. I apologize. I use it because I've got kids running around and I don't want to have an open mic. But I'm gonna change my this one. we're max food. Until we can get the stone to upgrade the castle, we actually can't get our eighth to get the house here. I'm just used to having the options available. So we're gonna see after this day if we can get enough glory for another slot. I don't know. I don't remember what it takes. I could actually check. 18. Yeah, 6, 2. I think this is a slot. Yeah, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. But that's even farther. Even farther. Oh well. $1,000 hours beats the demo in the playtest. Amazing. Yes. All right. We're gonna go to the tavern. Now this is something that also took me a little while to figure out, like, what is happening here. So our Cyclops is gonna come eat some berries. We gained another glory. We should have 2 now. He actually did more damage. That's great. And then we're gonna... We did get that extra wood. That is very nice. I'm gonna go back to chopping more. Our hero has leveled up. So if we want to look at that, his stats are obviously going to be increasing. We can also do other things to help him level up. Upgrade his abilities. Which we're using a faith resource, which you don't currently have yet. And sorry to hear that, Zalix. It sounded a little bit like it was just me, but I haven't had the issues for so long. I was doubtful that it was just me, because we did have the whole world having internet issues yesterday. Okay, we're up to 8 wood. This is good. Okay, it looks like the stream might be back. I'm just going to continue on as is. Tough to say. Getting a little bit more glory. Spectacular, the game says. Our Cyclops is still not thrilled with the berry meals. We're going to start getting fish soon. And he's got a level. So, we've just... Oh, moving past it quickly. Looks like we almost double the damage, and we get a little bit of health, and we get rage. Now, we've not talked about rage. Every unit has different timers on how it attacks and how often. So, for our main hero, it doesn't really say. But you can kind of see, you know, he charges out there, and as long as something's in the circle, he's always charging around attacking. If you give him more move speed from a level up thing, like, he'll do more. The Cyclops, though, instead, he attacks when the rage... well, he builds up attack when attacking, if not full. So he's attacking all the time. But and it attacks every 3.4 seconds. That's the cooldown of his attack. But it builds up when attacking, and then his damage increases when he's enraged. So you want... and it also builds up faster, I believe, if we... I read somewhere else that it builds up faster the higher, like the bigger the bar is or whatever. So anyway, I think it scales like not a linear pathway of scaling, but it does increase, and you want it to be a bigger pool, and it'll give you a faster filling speed with the bigger pool. And then it will do more damage as well while enraged. So that's kind of his resource. There's going to be casters that use mana, but the mana is kind of weird because the mana is also their health. We can also build a road here, and this will be a little bit closer, sadly. I'm just sad. I want to have the one that's like over here, and I can't get it. Okay, but what do we want to build next? And the most likely candidate is going to be the sawmill. So we're going to need 5 wood for that, but this is going to be what's going to let us start building planks or boards. And that'll let us build a bakery potentially, or the gold mine, or we go over here, we can get a siege camp. There's a lot of different things. We can also help the merchant there repair when he has those extras. We can also, you know, do other things. We can generate faith and whatnot, but that's probably not going to be prevalent this run. So, I've got, right now I've got And unfortunately, the stream still seems to be struggling. Sadly, I'm not recording it independently. I was planning on putting this out on YouTube as well, but with the stream interruptions, not great. Hey, we got werewolves. You'll notice that werewolves move pretty quick. Different units have different move speeds, different move patterns even. And we're getting to the point where we might just need some help, some military assistance here. We might be needing that soon. Oh, our hero leveled. That is going to be a big help right there. Also, we've got our wood that we need. Let's go ahead and build our sawmill. And 3 more Cyclops. Sadly, you can't just order more of the same thing. I can get stone and get this guy, and that's our probably first objective. But we did get this. And that is we've gathered 16 wood, so we've finished a bounty, which gives us one of these. Every time you play, sometimes you might not. Sometimes you might not be able to progress that because you just don't have the good rogue-like luck happening. However, you are collecting these crystals through the bounties, and these crystals are persistent between runs, and so the shards. And so I can use this shard to now give myself a permanent extra wood or an extra stone. Let's actually do stone from the start here. Oh, it hasn't actually reached. There it goes. Now it's reached. And so now from every game from here on out, we'll have an extra stone. Which is nice, which is nice. Also, what is this? Notice how there's just different things happening on the map. You gotta pay attention. Whenever you see an apple like this, look out for the witch. She's very shy, likes to hide, but if you help her out, her reward will be plentiful. Okay, so we gotta keep an eye out over here. We do need to... It's getting to be evening already. Nightfall. By the way, when it's actually like halfway through the night, the monster's enraged. That's what's going on there. We still are going to collect the... Where did it put somebody there? Oh, it was the stone that I also needed. That's right. That's right. Get our Fisher Hut, but we... Actually, we can get our Fisher Hut. Let's do it. So they'll start out the next day right away with the Fisher Hut. We're using up our armor. We might not even survive this round, because I needed to be getting the swordsman sooner. Yeah, we'll make it. Is the stream stable? Is it up? Are you guys... Is it laggy? What's happening here? I don't have no control over it, and it's very unusual. All right, so we got another experience point. We're eating. Okay. Now, one nice thing is we've got this fisherman. We can now get 1 free food a day. Oh, we also have
Stand for the light.
a new friend. Are you the hero of old?
Huh?
How can this be?
Don't insist.
No time to explain. Okay, we now have access to another unit. Remember how the archer is pretty good, but I think he can be placed on towers. We're still going to go Rune Scribe. So now we need 2 food for that, and we also intend to pick this guy up. So we're going to still be working on our bushes, but we have a fisherman, and the fish is worth an extra experience point. But it's telling you now need 2 food to make sure everyone's fed. Makes sense. We don't have any gold yet to actually have him on the field yet, so we need to wait on taxes. It cuts out every now and then. I guess potentially we can live with that. Obviously, it's not what we want. We've met a new friend. We must try to find out what's behind this. She can fight. But first, we need to help the village. What's the village need? The village wants us to get a star. Also, there's a sign. The Sun Coast. And something else. We can recruit crossbowmen. So crossbowmen have a similar problem with the archer, and I actually like the archer better. Now crossbowmen are good at single target, and they can pierce potentially. It fires one bolt at a random target, and it is truly random. I don't like that either. You can't plan around that. But if you level it up, you can get 2-3 bolts at that same target. So if it's a boss, you know, you're hitting him 3 or 4 times. It's great. But most of the time, I'm not losing on a boss round. I'm losing on the regular rounds, which is the other 6 days of the week. And the crossbowman is utterly worthless during those rounds. So I'm not a huge fan, but he is pretty cheap to recruit. Still costs food to maintain. And we have a clown on the quest. Defeat the first boss so we can unlock a new unit type. As well as, now these are costing 2, but we can have a wheat to start our runs. I can still click this at any point. I got 1 gold. I need a 2nd gold to be able to bring him out here. Yeah, we saw the witch. Oh, no, we saw that we can get the witch. Here is the witch. Good point. Needs more power. 10 stones. Well, we have 0. The battle's already happening. There's our coin. Now we can add another slot. These are vampires, and you see the chain lightning. This is why I prefer him over the archer and the crossbowman. Okay, we got 4 boards. What are we looking to get next? I actually kind of just want to get another house, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that. There's no room. My problem with bread takes, you need to have the windmill to turn wheat to flour, the bakery to turn flour to bread, and you need to have I can't click one because we already filled them all up. You need to have a well to get water. So it's 3 slots for bread, and I'm not a fan. You can get fish with 1 slot. Now you get a lot of XP from bread, so it can be worth it, but it's at the beginning of the game when you have no slots at all. I recommend you don't try for bread. So you also need another slot for the actual farm. Now there is some wheat to be had here, and there is a way to get some extra wheat every day for the game. I haven't shown that yet. I don't want to spoil. But you probably need the farm too. So it's another slot as well. Instead, I'd recommend going for something like the hunter and the fisherman. The hunter does consume these animals, but if you don't overhunt, like the animals do come back. That's right. We need ore for this, don't we? We can get a wall too if we want to save that up. Monsters are angry. Just make beer. Well, at this stage in the game, there's nothing we can use the beer with. We have to unlock way more stuff. All right, now this is going to be interesting. The order of entry gets to decide who gets the best food. So this is randomly decided, but there are a couple of ways to influence it. Very few. So our Cyclops is going to get the fish, which is worth 2 XP. So he's not quite, he's kind of indifferent. He's not sad. Our dwarf here, he is sad. He does not want berries. And they don't even want to sit together. They're mad about this. That's worth 2 XP. The other one's worth 1. Cardella, you have a good night. And we can see the XP gains here for the whole group. And you can also see who got what. If I had skipped that whole process, I could just see who got what. But it's boss time. We can build a road. I think we are going to try to build a wall. Because it's really tough at the beginning when you don't have all those resources. So I think we're going to build a wall. We need 6. Do we have any wood saved up? We have 1 in storage. I might be able to do this. I was planning on getting our swordsman, but I won't have the gold to be able to buy. It costs 4 gold for the slot. We're only going to get 2 a day right now. And potentially I could get the... I wonder. Maybe I should do that. Just because it kind of helps us move things along. Let's do the wheat. Now that we've got this extra slot unlocked, and I won't be able to get the house for a while, let's go ahead and do this. So this will be an extra tax coin. Feed the peasants nonsense. We don't feed the peasants. Okay, with this guy, I might not need the wall after all. It is the Goblin King! Because we have this chain lightning is why. So we might actually be fine. The problem is he kind of hovers outside the range. And so you kind of need to have the other tile a little bit closer to be able to do something about this. But because we do have the chain lightning, I'm happy. I think we'll be fine. You have to actually move your camera to collect all the taxes. They just hang around on the ground. Kind of like real life, you know, when the king goes around collecting taxes, he leaves the gold on the ground until you pick it up for him. Feed the peasants the beer? Is that a thing? If so, I'm unaware. All right, we got loot, so we got some shards, which is great. We also got happiness, which means any new units will have 5 XP, and that's going to be important because we're looking to get a new unit. And we got some extra stuff. So we got the star. So whenever you first beat a boss, mini-boss, or curse level for the very first time. I've not actually seen a curse level yet. Stars are required for most important permanent upgrades. That's good. We also had somebody wanting us to get a star. I think it was this guy. This is a revive. The X is a revive, but it also can be used on something else too. It's a banish. And then a treasure. So you actually want to get one of... Eventually, you want to have unlocked everything at least once. So in a run, it's actually keeping track with this new thing. The more new things you have in a run, the more prestige your town gets. That's this crown in the corner, or the kingdom level you get. So all of them are new right now, but I just want to point that out. Okay, the conductor. Hitting wet targets with lightning will apply shock to the surrounding targets. I currently have no means to apply wet, but we do have lightning. So we got half of the equation. They're all the, epic rarities. We can also have 50% strength for 5 seconds when blocking a monster. Now, blocking, I'm not 100% sure if that's using up your shields when they hit you. You use shield. I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't really tell me. And then there's Eagle Eye. Increases strength by 30% against stun targets. We are stunning targets. The stun is not a long stun, but we are stunning targets, and it requires no other combo to make it happen. Which is why I'm kind of leaning towards that. I don't have any way to have wet targets reliably, but I can reliably use Eagle Eye every time. Now, this 30% might be 1 or 2 hits here and there, because again, it's only a 1 second stun, but I think I will take it. So we have a Relic, And again, it's a roguelike. They're different every time. You don't know what you're going to get. And they're going to be over here on the side. And then we can also review what we have by pressing I. Or just clicking them. There you go. Also, it's party time. But because it's party time, we're going to make a couple extra executive decisions here. So first off, we're going to unlock the clown. Because we finished the quest to get this star. And I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to recruit our swordsman who costs the 4 stone. We had just enough stone. And the reason why I'm doing it now is because he will eat. And by eating, he will get XP. Okay, choices. So the board, you can build a gold mine, and with boards, we want to repair the church, but also gold can be used to recruit and improve units. With the church, you can get more faith to upgrade your hero. We don't want to do either or. We actually have enough boards. I think I will repair the church, since we didn't need it for the castle. Okay, it wants us to upgrade the lumberyard to get the forester. The forester is a special job. It doesn't require a peasant. It just is a thing that the building will have a worker do automatically. It costs gold, though. It'll plant new trees, and this is going to be important because you will run out. Yeah, they don't require a worker, but cost coin instead. It's the last step of the tutorial, so you wait until you need more wood. Got it. There's our quest. And then the forester needs stone, but we also still have 9 trees, so I'm not hugely worried about that yet. I think I'm going to have to start getting more food, though, because now we're going to have three a day. And do we have anything to pick up? Nope. Gotta check, though. Oh, we do have this. It's not possible. I apologize. It's party time! Because we beat a boss. All right. So, the rune scribe did a lot of work for us because, as you saw, he was the only one who could read. And they're actually going to give him the fish for it. And there's our new swordsman. He's going to get an extra XP that he otherwise would not have had if we bought him tomorrow. Of course, it uses a food, but that's why we have the food. So we're getting XP. Got level 2, extra damage, some extra life. Level 3 on the swordsman. Now, he started at level 2 because by beating the boss, we got 5 happiness, which means 5 XP. So by doing it in the order we did, he actually now is tied for our highest level guy here. So he's fully caught up. Because I didn't buy him on turn 6, I bought him on turn 7. And we also get a +1, because it's party night, we get +1 XP, so there you go on that too. That's partly why he was able to just barely reach that. Okay. I don't usually build the decoration here. So I don't really know how I feel about it because now we won't have another slot. But then again, we're not going to be getting any gold really, so this is our opportunity to get some gold. We are going to place him. So he can actually tank for us. I do expect to get enough food to keep them all going. And then, oh yes, hold on. We got stuff to do. The werewolf wants us to be kind. You know, when I was doing my other run, it was automatically finished, and I don't know how I was kind. It might be to actually, like, help this guy.
Ready, please? We'll meet again.
That didn't count. I don't know. All right, but then, so we've unlocked the monastery here. We can get a monk, but he costs wheats instead. I actually really think the monk's a great unit because not only does he hit in an AoE, 20-meter radius, it's not a ton of damage, but he hits in an AoE and he has a great passive, or a useful passive anyway. And the fact that he uses wheat means that it's something that I can potentially be getting that isn't costing me from building my town either. And depending on there's something up here that needs you to use holy damage, so we'll have that as well. But what else have we got? Okay, more unlocks. So gold, which we actually could do, but I think we're gonna save up for the other one. What was this one? Berries. Actually, you know what? I know what this is. We actually would be better off to do the, several of these. We can get 2 more of those. All right, but what do we have here? Someone living here.
Huh?
That went well. Also, there's a giant octopus over here. Don't mind him. Upgrade the village to start our... Oh, that's what we want. This one's huge. Yeah, we need that 1 more worker per run. So this will also make her happy. Still wasn't us being kind, I guess. We are going to start generating faith because of this church, or gold because of the church, but we want to generate faith with none. So we actually do want to have some berries for that, which means we need a surplus of food. Making some money now. Ooh, we randomly got a shard. That's very nice. Okay. We enter the tavern. And again, we can skip through all that. I just didn't want to be impatient. All right, some XP. Mysterious stranger. First one's free. Now, this is great. So, this is our chance to permanently, for every run here on out, unlock a passive ability for 1 unit. Now the first one, as it said, is free, but after that you're going to have a shard on hand to be able to do this. So I know I want to always have the swordsman in every run, and he's going to be available in every run, whereas these other ones aren't. So it's going to be the taunt. But let's just look at these other ones. This will give himself, not everybody, but himself, damage by 30% against wet targets. Remember how we could have had that rune? If we could have reliably provided a source of a deluge on our enemies, then we could absolutely be doing a ton of damage. But because we just don't know where we'll get that, I'm not worried about it. The Cyclops increases allies' armor by 5%. This is not shields. This is actually a damage reduction, a percentage reduction, and I think it has diminishing returns. But it's also only the 3 immediately in front, like front and then, to the right, to the left. So it's not everybody. Basically, in our positioning we have right now, it'll buff the swordsman by 5%. And that's okay, but until we can have a much bigger board, I'm not really worried about it. It's definitely the swordsman. And I can click that, and you can now see the swordsman has this taunt. And if we can manage to level these guys, it has levels as well, which usually is just reducing the cooldown. This is now permanently unlocked, and this is the one that we wanted to get over here to one of these. these. I can at least use it for the ore. So we'll at least try to do that. Oh, hold on. We've got... There's a little boy here. Look what I found. Found a shield. That's amazing. So sometimes it gives you like 1 wood, but this is an item that I can equip on one of my units. Now, we have a tank. This is going to be a 30% increase to shield. Remember, this is the regenerating health that he gets, and we're absolutely going to put that on our swordsman. It would give a percentage of, like on our knight and such too. Notice how you can't put it on the guys that don't have shields at all. But the knight is not going to be hit unless the swordsman's down. So we definitely want it on the swordsman. Now we're up to 48.1. And you can have up to 3 items per unit. Now once you've committed that, it's very difficult but not impossible to unequip those. Got to keep that in mind. How are we doing on the... I am probably going to have to get a hunter. We need to keep getting stone. That little, I don't know if you see the little red anger, that's the taunt. So now the ones that are affected by that are getting forced to hit the swordsman, as opposed to going for our casters on the sides. I think our hero just leveled up as well. Now, even so, this is still a bit of a struggle. I'm glad we got that extra shield. But he died anyway. Okay, don't worry, they come back to life. As long as they can get some kind of food at night, they will recover back to full health. You can build a graveyard to move the fallen unit out of the way and prevent the loss of glory. I didn't actually know that it would prevent loss of glory, but I don't really think we have room for it. It's good to know. So, something I could do here, for example. Now, he's poisoned, so it's probably not going to do much, but I could potentially, if it was just regular hits, I could back him off. And then he's not going to get hit with regular hits again, but he is still... Now, he actually... We haven't talked about this. Mana is regenerating on its own, but it also is his health. So because it's regenerating, he'll be healed again very soon. And I'll just put him back out on the field when he is. But we did just lose the Cyclops while I was talking. Oh, we just lost. But we can try again. All right. We'll pay more attention. We've got our one try again. So everything stays the same. Oh, almost accidentally clicked that. We want our swordsman. We should have the armor as well. And because I haven't been focusing on this is a problem. We won't be able to get walls, I don't think. It costs 6. Do we have any wood stored up? So I have 1. We can only get 5. I'm gonna have to let him go and farm a little bit, but I don't think we're gonna get 6. Well, our fishermen give us enough food for the night. Potentially, I could instead go for... I could go for that, but I don't want to. I could get the crossbowmen. I'd much rather have just get walls. But I don't think we can actually do it. Ooh, but we have the treasure. Okay, this is available. The farm is being attacked. We can fight a mini-boss by spending some faith. We don't have faith, and we don't want to add difficulty to this right now. And the most reliable increase in our power would be the archer here. Or actually, I don't have to be the archer, but I don't have wheat for the other guys. This is the only one that we're gonna get the food for, the resource for. I really don't think I want to risk trying to get all these boards. I don't think it's gonna work. So it's just gonna be Like, I still should try to get them, but I want to make sure I get the wood first. Like, I don't want him to use it up, so let's do that. I need to get my 4th wood. Alright, I don't like the crossbowmen, but we're kind of in trouble. So, we've got gold, we can unlock slots. This is the next cheapest. The problem is that, so his special ability, which actually doesn't matter, his special ability is not unlocked. His special ability would affect the unit in front of him, but since we don't have one, same thing with this guy. He would affect this swordsman, but we don't have the ability, so it doesn't matter. And I like how it carts off the wood to go make the payment. Because we do still want to make walls like next turn, so I need to start getting some boards. Those are trees. Okay, we still have 8. Didn't actually get that board. Did we make it at least? Nope. That's rough. Still haven't been kind. I don't remember, because it was already unlocked when I found the guy, so I don't remember what it takes to get him. Alright, our Rune Scribe does level. That will help us, because he's doing most of our damage next to our hero. Only one stored up. Now, you actually don't have to feed everyone, but you do take the risk. If people die and you don't feed them, then they're gone. So you don't have to feed them. They don't gain XP, but I would like to. So we are definitely getting 1 a turn because of the fisherman here, but I'm probably still going to go ahead and leave him there. It's just, we're not going to have the boards this turn. I'm going to rely on that the rune scribe having leveled to get us through. Alright, there's the chapel. It's important. Learned everything we knew. Let's complete all the tasks in the chapel. So we need to kill monsters with holy damage. And to get holy damage, we need a monk over here. And there's a ghost. We want to bury a unit. We have to actually get a graveyard for that. Can't progress that little... So these all have like little storyline bits that you have to kind of progress. Oh, we finished this though. We died. Now we do have 10. Let's go ahead and get the witch unlocked here. Now we have another one. Five boards. We need 6. They're working on it. I think we still might have to build it this turn. Like, I don't have any more lives, so I don't want to risk it. Oh, we're not getting the board anyway. He's poisoned, but he'll make it. Okay. Rune Scribe doing some work. And levels, gonna save the day as well. But I do think we can get our wall next, so that's a big deal. We need to get our gold mine, but that's planks, so that's gonna take a second. What I can do is get the forester. I think we will. So we can toggle the special job on and off. That's gonna be the star. And once we actually still have 7 trees. I'm actually gonna toggle it off. I don't want to spend the gold just yet. We'll wait till it's down to like 3, because the trees take a second to grow as well. Like a day, I think. Just like real life. The bigger concern is the food. So now we need to save up stone, and probably should have done that first. Save up the stone for the heart hunter. Okay, we got our boards. Let's get the wall. So it mitigates 50% of the damage done to hit points by using up its hit points, and that's going to be up top here above our resource. So we have 30 hit points of the wall. You can now have a wall here. We don't have towers yet, so let's click here again, and you can see now there's more options. We can make the walls better, and we could put towers. A castle gate, we can have 3 total towers, left and right, or planks. But for the moment, it's just going to help us get more health. We have now found the market. These refresh each week. We also have our friend there. And then this guy needing 30 fields in your city, which is... I've not been able to do that yet. It's super difficult. Still have not been kind. There's the next witch up here. I do want to get 6 berries here. There was, what, just the 1 in the shop? Yeah, just 1. Might buy it anyway. So you can kind of, we're taking a little bit of damage on the walls, but that's damage that our units didn't have to take, which is quite nice. Ooh, hero leveled, good timing, it knocks everyone back. Let's back up our swordsman, we'll slow down the game a little bit. Walls going down, we are in trouble. I don't have a heal, so the swordsman just his armor can heal, but we're in trouble. There's the taunt, trying to buy that extra time, but it did not do much. Okay, this is a good run though. Got a lot unlocked. We're out of retries. And we were productive. We did try to get the wall. We knew it was going to be a challenge. About the only other thing I could have done would be maybe build a tower. It gives the wall more health, but it also puts one of our guys as like a little bit safer. I could have unlocked that. Oh no, we don't get. Oh no, that'll be back on the next run, but it's okay. Are those? Is that the dinosaurs? That's why. It was the dinosaurs. Yeah, they're not nice at all. We accept defeat. Yep, we lost a dinosaur. But all of these were new. We've not played a run with any of them yet. So we got 6 to our kingdom level. And we got 35 on that. On our prestige there. So kingdom level has leveled up. We now start with an extra gold for a new run. And again, it's going to really encourage you to play more runs. You're not going to ever be able to beat it on the first run. Even after that. But it's going to be, you progress. So now we get 2 gold total with the previous level. But also, we can choose to get stone from the start. Which is really interesting because I did the choice to get a permanent stone at the start of every run. And now we can also get an outpost, which is 3 stone at the start of the run. I can have 4 stone from day 1 of the run. I could either upgrade my castle from day 1, or, which is really good, that's always what I do, or I could even recruit the fighter day 1 and have him getting XP. So this gives us quite a few options. And we can now get cookies. This is, we don't actually have it each round, it's unlocked. So it's part of the pool that we could potentially get for a relic. Okay, so we've made a lot of progress, but as promised, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reveal something and we're gonna make some progress over on my actual profile. We're gonna do something that neither of us have done. Do you see this floating, super scary skull with the 1 star? If you get all 3 stars, you can unlock something, which is actually right over here on our main profile. If I click it, we can play an entirely different kingdom. Now, I knew I didn't want to play my main profile because I didn't want to spoil late game or mid game, wherever I am on this thing. I got like roughly half of things unlocked. So we'll call it mid game. I didn't want to spoil that for people, so I figured since I had unlocked this, why not go ahead and do something that would be new for both of us? This will be a whole new kingdom. I don't know what to expect. I've not played this whatsoever. Got a different king. We don't have any achievements for it. We do have our items. That's good to know. But we have to play him once to unlock. We can't use items this first run. So he is... Fallen Knight does not care about defense anymore. So the other guy is all defense. This guy does not care. Let's play it. I've not done this at all. Oh. The Undead Kingdom. This is brand new to me. Frail, slow, and decaying, but relentless. The dead required hard decisions. Like always, you start by building the tavern. You won't find any berries here, though. Place the tavern on a big building spot. Okay, now it's not... It doesn't have, like, my normal glory, so it just gives you more slots in general, it looks like. And we've got some other stuff here. We've got some houses and things, maybe. Maybe. Geldar, one can only hope. I don't know. I don't know if we can sacrifice villagers, but I am here for it. That is what we're here to find out. Okay, I can't click on that. We're gonna build a tavern, but I don't know what food we even use. Bone piles? Is that our food? There's thickets. There's graves. Rocks, but no ore. And we do have these little pools. And the pumpkins. So I'm still going to put the tavern in what looks to be somewhat central. Maybe over here is more central, but I'm going to click here. Okay, each grave around the city spawns 1 worker each morning, but your workers are skeletons and they can only do 1 job per day before decaying. Use them wisely. So build the quarry on a big building spot. Now it said grave. Okay, there they are. So we got 5 workers. Wow. But only 1. Do we get 5 again the next day? Do the graves get used up? I don't know. We'll find out. Is there a stone resource that's permanent? Are these limited? Looks like there's not. So we're just gonna go ahead and build the quarry. Stones, bones. What's our food equivalent? Books and paper. Pumpkin to candy. You're not assigning the workers directly, but just how much of each resource you need. Over the quarry and roll. Okay. I don't know how much we need. Bones. Faster tax generation doubles. We want the 3 bones. We know that. That's 1 per day. Nice. Book. Rats? Are rats giving me bones? I'm gonna suspect that they are. I'm gonna wonder that this is like, well, meals? It's rats. Rats are the meals. So rats are what we're gonna feed our army with, which we don't have yet. So rats are not as high a priority. So let's get a boneyard. We need 3 stone at least. The carriers are zombies. They are slower but can work for the whole day. Get some stone and build a mausoleum. Oh, I was gonna go boneyard. What's the mausoleum? I don't see one. It's the church. Extract ooze? I'm gonna guess that this is our mausoleum. The boneyard is our mausoleum. Like, I'm gonna guess that that's because it's like the only thing you need stone for right now anyway. But they probably need to change the name. Okay. So I want 3. Do we go ahead and get a rat and maybe an extra? Because that's all I can work. Okay. Sounds like a plan. How's our hero? What does he do? Chases his targets, turning anyone he kills into a minion. I love it. He's a summoner class. Some really chill undead here. Yep, we got a meal. But we only get the 1. They don't keep working. Oh, they just like walk away and die. The skeletons. So here he comes. He's like, oh, I've used up all my power. Does not do a lot of damage, but it does summon. The summons don't do a lot of damage because they can't catch up to anything. I'm sure with larger groups it'll be very helpful. Hold on, we got a bunch of stone. Let's focus here. So we can get the boneyard. My only other slot, so that's where we're putting it. And then I didn't keep any workers, so we can't go and collect bones this turn. I got that extra stone. They brought me 2 stone apiece. Did I put 3 or 4? Did we max out? I don't even know what happened there. I feel like we got extra. Oh! Right. Mausoleum's a house. The house is not a house. The mausoleum's a house. And I need stone for that. And I just built the bone thing. Alright. Misunderstood. our little zombies. There's a lot of them, but I don't know if they actually landed any hits. I don't think we have any unlocks. Need to look around though. Yeah, there it is. Okay, got a glory.
You shouldn't be here. I can help you.
Okay. Now the unlocks are for both sides. So you've seen the Rune Scribe, and he's pretty great. I've kind of talked bad about the Archer, but you've not seen the Stormcaller at all. Oh, but the passives are locked. So I do need to unlock those. Now the Stormcaller is a lot of fun. He summons a storm cloud that just floats around and he shocks things. Now he also has a summoner class, and I'm curious if I can get some sort of relic that buffs all summoners, because our hero's a summoner too. So anyway, I'm probably going to click the Stormcaller because you guys haven't seen him. Just, I think he's better than the Archer. He's kind of fun. An ooze. Crossbones on a quest. We have to lose. We can recruit a clown with bones. So clowns are kind of like archers. Oh, they are archers. They throw 2 bones. Range is shorter than the archer. But for whatever reason, I don't know if I can really justify this, but for whatever reason, I've always felt like they do better than the archers. I think it's because they get more damage. I think the clown damage scales a lot faster. We got our 1 meal. 1 worker left. Oh yeah, we do want those bones for the repair here, yeah. Alright, so there's a little storm cloud. Floats around zapping things. It does hit an AoE. Zero max. We actually weren't able to have that ooze at all. Interesting. Six. 1 more stone. Okay, roads to reclaim your kingdom and explore. Road building mode. It's like the arrow pointing where you want to explore. So there's this, but like, I guess I can just click that. But I don't really see how useful that is. Yeah, need more glory. Color coding isn't really helping that. Need to get more rats now. He's not happy about eating a rat. We have 6 workers. Need a rat. I have to re-sign this every time. Sewage plant. Another type of building is the sewage plant. Ooze is generated automatically without the need for workers. To build it, you need another big building slot. Find one by building roads, yes. Ta-da. Generates ooze. Fair enough. So let's collect 2 more bones. Build that. We actually want a lot. We want like 5 bones so we can repair this as well. So maybe that's what we're doing today. Interesting that there's like, by default, there's a worker there. See how that's like 1 out of 6? Oh, is it just letting me that one's already signed over here? Fair enough. Them bones. Alright, repaired part of our castle here. So we can get some more money. Go, storm clouds. Oh, I still have 3 workers. Really? Or is it because are they in bed? I can't tell. Yeah, they're all asleep? No. They should have made it to where we work at night. In daytime, they all sleep. Right? That makes sense. Working them to the bone? If they don't pay their taxes, we sacrifice them. Oh, whoa. That is a long road over there. Alright, so it kept the 3 I signed before because the day, I guess, was already getting to be over. We can't build a sewage plant yet, but I could potentially assign somebody to work it second. Oh, a bone? You can do it. That's a sewage plant. Does it need... It generates ooze. It doesn't necessarily need to be near the ooze, but I'll still build it here. Skeletons to decay. What you really need is more zombies. Build a house! If you say so. Get some ooze. Okay, so we really don't have to do anything with that. But I do have more workers. A trap of logic? I agree, my friend. I think it's going to be great. I've got to tell you, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I really think that the replayability alone is amazing. The loop of coming back because you just unlocked some new things, you want to try it out. You want to try out a new build order. There's always something. There's always a reason to come back. Play another run. The runs aren't too terribly long. I've been taking my time to make sure everyone can kind of see what I'm doing and absorb it. Maybe laugh at it, I don't know, but you can go faster than I'm going. I do need to get more troops. Which... I can do. Kind of forgot about him. We definitely need that level as well to kind of keep us going. Kind of doubled our damage there, just about. Ooh. It's an outpost, so I can get this right now. The build slot? A random thing slot? So we need 5 bone. I could potentially get a bunch of bones right now, but is there a reason why I would need ooze? I know it wants me to get a house, and I could get ooze to get a house right now, but I'm not as convinced that we need more zombies. I guess it's because the skeletons don't bring anything back, so the more stuff you have, the more you need your zombies, I suppose. To actually bring them back, it's probably being stored. They're getting the job done. Yeah, we need better food. I don't know how to get it yet. Like, we haven't unlocked better food yet. So we need pumpkins. That's probably the next tier. Pumpkin farm, harvest pumpkins, but we need blocks. Stone to blocks. Okay. So that's the ticket. We need blocks so we can get pumpkins. So we need our haunted workshop. And to get the haunted workshop, we need ooze. We are generating ooze. There's actually 4 stored right now. Maybe we go ahead and get the ooze anyway because we need the carrier. 14 max. I'll have an entrance to the catacombs. Catacombs allow your workers and carriers to take a shortcut and move through the city faster. So distributing the entrances. So the mausoleums, the graveyard, and the repaired church. Huh. So they're tunnels. Another mausoleum, repair the church, or build a graveyard. Where did I put the one mausoleum? Right here. So we want it like as far from each other as we can. So we'd want that one up here. I do need a little bit of bone just to get the warrior guy, but we're going to get some stone up and running. And then this needs ooze, which I can't speed up. I've still got a worker left. Yeah, because the zombies have a long way to walk with this. As soon as we get the 5th bone, we're going to buy this clown. I can get the workshop for next turn. That That uses zombies, doesn't it? Those are zombie faces. Skeleton faces, zombie faces. We only have the 3. They weren't kidding, we do want more houses.
How bold of you. What is your wish?
Stone. Well... Does this actually show the upgrade I had? Because I've upgraded him before. We only have 9 gold. We only have 9 gold. We're not getting another warrior. I can't unpause to have the tax go through. Hadashi wants to know, how do you progress farther each run from just having items you find on the run? So, the main progression, aside from the items, aside from like the shards and doing like the little quests that these guys have, like this guy, he has a quest to lose and then he'll be unlocked and added to the pool of units. The main way that you're progressing is this glory. That's the trophy in the upper right corner. So by me surviving, and every 10 enemies you kill in a night is 1 more glory. Every guy that dies, every one of your soldiers that die during that night, you lose a glory. So you want to get this glory up. Now, it's not a resource. It's not something that you spend. It is a mile marker on how far you've gotten. And so right now on this run, we've accrued 9. If we survive the next night, we get more, and it just keeps building up. Every threshold we reach is going to allow us to get something else unlocked permanently. I can't click this reclaim because we have to do the choose thing. But basically, all of these roads that I'm building, these are permanent. So the next run is going to have all of these slots available from the beginning, so I can potentially make use of things sooner. A good example of that is this outpost. I had to wait till, what, day 4 when we unlocked it, day 5? Now it's unlocked at the beginning, and that's a free 3 resources from day 1. Day 1 with 3 more resources is massive, and that means more buildings. And the buildings mean that I'm going to be getting the resources sooner, meaning we're going to have a stronger economy, meaning that we go further. And so it's going to be the cycle feeding itself, the more glory you've achieved. But once the run is over, your glory resets for the next run. So it's going to be like the milestone, the high watermark you've reached. The farther you can push that, the more you have unlocked. So the farther you can go, the more you'll have permanently. And that's also moving the fog of war in this map. So we'll discover more and more things around the map by the same token. I'm not spending the glory, it's just I have to have reached a certain threshold. I am very sad, though, that I have 9 coins, and I just spent 2 on this, putting this clown out here. And we could have gotten something, but now we can't. We cannot get anything, so no thanks. Playing hard mode. No extra unit for us. So we're gonna get some blocks. We need 6 blocks for the pumpkin farm. So we're gonna have 2 of those guys working. We're not gonna get much out of these other things. Still have 2 guys left to assign. Oh, right. So because our glory did increase, we can do things. This at the threshold of 7 gets unlocked, but we have 9. Along the way, we found an apple. And an abomination. So we can recruit another guy here. Grapples its targets, applying taunt. Yep, this is a tank, so we're going to want to have some stone, and we're going to definitely want to recruit him because we missed a recruitment. And because we have 9, we keep going. Miner is on a quest. Complete the following test. Defeat the first boss. Undead. What are you?
Stop.
Okay. That will be something that we can progress as time goes on. Said she was a tailor? Looking for anything else? You gotta check your X marks the spot as well. See any goodies dropped. And I still have 2 workers. Mausoleum needs a bunch of stone. Everything's gonna need stone. Also need bones for the wall. There's our tax. Could have got a guy. What's nice about the storm clouds is once they get going, they can reach out farther than your normal range. So unlike an archer shooting at random targets, the storm clouds are random targets, but it's hitting more of them because it's reaching farther. I'm not convinced about the skeleton army. It's cool, but I've yet to see them actually like intercept something that matters. Definitely cool though. Zombies carrying skeletons are workers, yes, except we just got a building where the zombies are workers too, and so... Which meant we had less workers to bring in the resources, so we probably have a bunch of storage... No, I guess the other zombie did his job. Perfect. Boss time. We are not prepared. We used up all the stone we collected, didn't we? Yeah, there's a bunch of stone in storage here. I don't think we're gonna get enough bone. I mean, we could put all 5 there, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Oh, yes, it's a cemetery.
We are under attack. Kill them.
It's Mort.
What?
Can't speak. Upgrade the crypt to start with 1 worker, more in future runs. That is amazing. We need that. The skeleton army goes away every time, and the boss does not necessarily... I don't know what the boss is going to be, but if it doesn't bring summons of its own, we're not going to have a skeleton army to summon. We have to kill things to summon a skeleton. Yeah, we need... It's going to be a minute still before we can get the blocks done. The storage is full here, but I can't seem to... Oh, we need to... We have 6 blocks. We brought all the stones in, and we converted them successfully, but now we need to get them back. So we need to not have our workers busy. Can't really assign him though. Hold on, why do I have like so many guys? So 1, 3, 2. Okay, there's all my guys. We have nothing that we're going to be able to add to the boss wave, it looks like. So this is what we get. Oh, we might get summons. So actually, this might be fine. I didn't know if it would be a whole new bosses. The Goblin King. Or maybe he's not going to fight the minions. He's just gonna go for the boss. That's okay. He's doing good damage. And we got our friendly little storm clouds. Yeah, that's fine. No skeletons, but we did okay. Okay, the effect of fatigue. Now, I don't know if I have anything applying fatigue, which reduces enemy armor. If it increases the effect of shock, which we are with our lightning cloud. Spawn a zombie minion when killing a fatigued target, which is awesome if we have fatigue. Let's look at our main guy. Is he doing any fatigue? No. I know the hero that we were just talking to over here, this guy, he does fatigue. I know that. We can grab this and then just look for fatigue, because that seems amazing. You can even tell with the rarity marker there, like this is legendary. So I think it's worth it. We just aren't going to get an immediate benefit yet. We have to look for something with fatigue. Steals coins, boosts productivity. We definitely want to repair the church. That'll start getting us some faith, because that's the only way to upgrade our hero. Oh, it works by itself. You just need your carriers to deliver and produce resources back to your castle. Jobs assigned here will work on continuously till you unassign them. As a final step, upgrade the quarry to unlock the grave robber, a special job. That's right. Removes grades to find bloats. I don't want to remove graves. Don't we need all the graves? Levels. And because we got to start, I think somebody else gets unlocked here too. You have to lose with this guy. The miner. He was behind the Hydra, in case you didn't. You know, the Hydra's just minded his own business. Okay, 4 blocks. Get another block. We need 6 blocks for the pumpkin farm. We also still want to get more workers in general, which is stone in general, so let's do that. I'm pushing my luck by not having a wall. Or more warriors. I don't know if I need the wall necessarily, but I feel like I do because we missed out on a fighter. But by getting stone, we can get the A-bomb. There he is. Yeah, the mausoleum provides pathway, so like I'm gonna put it up here because we've got both the Cemetery, like there's pathway down here, which is not that helpful. Still have one more worker. If we're going to use up our stone and with the to get blocks, we still need stone for the other stuff. Time out. Didn't check this. Death Priest. Those are really good, by the way. So they need faith. Where's the X's? Yeah, these. There's one over here. There's one here. There's our person. But I don't think we've discovered any more. We've got 12 ooze. We need 14 for a house. We do over 6 blocks, though. So pumpkin farm. I'm going to guess at some point there's going to be pathways off to the right. We just don't have them, so I'm going to put the pumpkin farm down here. Build sewers to mutate pumpkins close to it, making them spread when being harvested. They cannot be harvested while it's snowing. Sewers mutate the pumpkins, making them spread. So that's got to be different from the sewage plant. Sewer must be a large building. So we're just going to be assigning 2 here instead of 2 here every turn. Because that's more XP. And then temporarily, I think we don't do blocks. So we need to get the stone. Why does it say I only have 3 workers? Am I actually killing off my workers with this thing? Oh, no, it's just because it's nighttime. We're over here fighting. Yeah, they've already finished their job and died for the day. Yeah, our fighters are dying. Like, I really do need that wall. Or the A-bomb. Either way.
The doctor is in.
Might be late. Alright. So we can unlock, increase the damage by 1% per shocked monster, or increase damage against taunted targets, which is awesome. We don't have taunt yet, but I believe we will once we get the A-bomb. Alright, now we should have something else. A road. Okay. There's the Soul Hunter. Where was the sewer, though? It mentioned having a sewer near the things. Rats to blood. Graveyard for path, that's right. And dig for graves. And dig for graves. Yeah, because the grave robber removes graves and finds bloats. I still don't know what a bloat is. Please. So we will need more to be assigned, so I can't unassign him. Okay. That's how that goes.
I can't stand the living.
Oh, pumpkin. Well, we'll have to get an extra one. Okay, what happened over here? Frost Mage. All stages of quest. Kill monsters with damage. Oh, with a certain type of damage. We barely survived that last round. I'm not actually very confident we're going to make this. I need this. I need some guys to level. I don't know how much XP they have. But that doesn't do much. I think I will, because I do think we're in trouble. Hero did level. Yeah, this thing's just dead, and if I don't get a chance to feed him... Because it starts with 15 and then gets 1 per day. So you actually want to get the wall really early. Just there's still stream issues, so I'm trying to comment on that as well. I can't get the bone fast enough. Unless we already got it, and that they weren't carrying it in. That's game over. I was trying to get the wall. So we accept defeat, but we will start the next run. Probably not today, but when we do start the next run, we will have unlocked things on the map, as well as we've got a couple levels because of this for starting with more gold and such. So this is right here, level 2. We start with an extra gold. Fight level 3. Gold, and now we can get stone if we want. So with all of these things combining, you're going to start having easier and easier early games, so it lets you get farther and farther. But with that, I'm going to be ending the stream and have some family time. Unfortunately, the stream has been very erratic. So I think we've lost most of our viewers anyway, but I'm going to have to say goodnight. Since we lost the run, we did get some more levels, so we can have some extra gold to start each run with. What I didn't do was spend the points here to have more resources to start. I should have done that. Thanks everyone for sticking with it. That was frustrating. I don't know if it was just my stream or if it was all of Twitch. I know yesterday the internet was having all sorts of trouble. Just globally, there was issues everywhere. And so apologies for how it was cutting in and out. I don't know if this will be usable on YouTube because of that, which is unfortunate as well. So, all right. Thank you everyone for sticking around. Yeah, we've got some upgrades. It'll still be fun for the future, but it'll have to wait. I will see you all on Thursday. Good night. God bless.